Hi everybody. We are an 18th century music group called the Sons of Liberty. I'm Joshua Smith and I'm 16 years old.
I'm Noah and I'm 14. And I'm Noah's twin brother and I'm also 14. And we're out here at the moment at historic Martin Station. We've been reenacting for about 4 years, mostly here at Martin Station and also at other state national parks and private foundations around the southeast. We've been playing music together for about 9 years. It's kind of a family thing.
We do all this together. We reenact together. We started playing together.
Well, we all play violin. This is kind of our first love.
Our heart and soul instrument, yes.
Okay, let's see. Daniel figured out how to pick it sometimes. We think since the mandolin was a pretty recent invention in the 18th century that not many people have had them, so we think it would have been very common to pick the violin. I picked up cello a little while ago. It's kind of added a deeper element to things, and also Joshua plays the viola pretty well. Pick that up. It also kind of just adds a little more to it. They were all real common instruments, not so much out here, but the 18th century would have been full of them. At the beginning of the year, usually just kind of get together and talk about what kind of new stuff we want to do. We usually try to bring a couple new songs to the group each year, so that's kind of how we do it. A lot of times the reason why it's so tough to revive these old songs that have been around for hundreds of years is because people will go in and sort of overwrite them, and they create new ones kind of on that base, and sometimes with the same names and all sorts of things. So it makes it real confusing when you try to go back in and figure out what was really going on. That's why a lot of times in 18th century jam sessions it's really tough to find out what you're actually playing because there's so many variations. It's kind of unique in the way that we're brothers, and so we're kind of molded together and forced to cooperate, and it's always been kind of a family thing. It kind of brings us closer together just as a family and not just in playing our music. A lot of people just don't know about the history that our country has, and even if they don't know it, sometimes people just don't care. And I think through the music we can bring out things about 18th century culture, what things were like back then. Not just surviving on your own, growing your own food and trying to beat off attack, but just really daily life. You get snapshots of politics, everything else. So I definitely see people being interested in the music, in the history.
I think that people find 18th century music, the roots of bluegrass music, very interesting to say the least. Maybe it's not people's favorite songs of all time, but I think that people are very interested in just finding out the roots of bluegrass and country music. Our priority and our mission is to keep 18th century music alive by playing it, and so that's what we do.
Now the drums beat up again for all true soldier gentlemen, and let us list and march, I say, over the hills and far away, over the hills and over the main, to Flanders, Portugal, and Spain. Queen and commands and we'll obey, over the hills and far away. The constables they search about to find such brisk young fellows out. Then let us be volunteers, I say, over the hills and far away, over the hills and over the main, to Flanders, Portugal, and Spain. Queen and commands and we'll obey, over the hills and far away. Hear that, brave boys, and let us go. or else we shall be pressed, you know. Then let us list and enter pay, over the hills and far away, over the hills and o'er the main, to Flanders, Portugal.